Good morning, welcome back to the Adventures of Mac and Anthea. This is basically going to be a follow-on video to the previous video I did where we were digging out for this road and moving the hardcore in, and eventually then the digger broke down again with what sounded like to be fuel starvation problems. Now we're going to get on with that now, try and find the source of the fuel starvation, you know, on this digger. I'm not going to dwell on it too long, but I am going to do a little bit because there's viewers out there who are particularly interested in sort of the, you know, the mechanical side of the channel. So we'll briefly go through that and see if we can find a problem and a solution. As with all these things, anybody who works in mechanics will understand you've always got that thing in the back of your mind where you're hoping it's not something more serious, you know, like a head gasket gone or something like that. But I'm thinking along the lines that this is going to be a problem with fuel starvation due to dirty fuel. Now, the reason I haven't done the fuel tank and clean that out is a real pig to get to. I've got the hydraulic fluid tank to take off first. We have to take all the floor out of the digger and everything. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to inspect the filters, have a quick look at that, check the lines out, and I think what I'm going to have to do is try and drain the fuel out of the tank and see if we can somehow clean the tank if it is particularly dirty whilst it's on the machine. Okay, well that started first time near enough, so that's not bad going. Good morning and welcome back. The digger's warming up in the background there, so come on, let's see if we can get this bit of a job completed and get on with the more difficult and more important job we've got to get on with above. Okay, so that's done for today. We've finished a little bit early. It's 1 o'clock. We've got to go and deal with bureaucracy, so another pointless time wasting exercise beckons. Okay, I'll quickly spin you around and show you what we've done. Okay, so as you can see, we've made quite a hole in the job there. We've cleared most of that. I think there's a sort of a little bit of rubble down there below, which I'll probably do with a dumper load. And I'm not sure if you can see it there on there, but I've marked a line across the edge of that trench there, and that's as far as we're going to go because we've got a pipe to go in there, but that's going to be a job for a bit later. Quite a bit of rubble left, but we've still got a bit more to do, so we'll get rid of a bit more than that, and then we've got some to spare sort of where the dumper is, which is going to be the hard standing to use for some of that, so I'm not too upset that we've got rubble left. Good morning and welcome back. I didn't film yesterday because it is more or less a repetition of the day before. And whilst it, you know, sort of starts out quite interesting content, it can soon become boring if I keep filming the same thing over and over again. So I think I'll spin you around and explain what we've got done. So as you see, we've got all our rubble down into the road here, and we've got it smoothed down. We've gained a little bit extra here. This sort of pile, you can sort of see this bit here. This is all what I've actually bladed off this. It's loose sort of coarse sand. You know, really good for finishing off on the top. It doesn't retain any water. It's not porous at all. It's very hard and gritty and aids drainage, so perfect for sort of binding on roads. So what I've done is sort of inch at a time, I've sort of bladed off the top of this section you can see here, until we've taken that down more or less to soil, which you see is probably a slightly lighter shade of colour rather than the darker grey of the grit. So we're down to soil there now. Yeah, we basically got that pile saved there. Now, most of the rubble's gone. We've sort of from this point on here is where we've got up to and what we've got left. Now, I'm not upset about that because, as I mentioned earlier, from here across, along, and then back along here, I'm going to dig out again and do a rectangle, and that's going to be a turnaround, and I may do a sort of a cart bay over there in the future to get these machines out the sun. But that's going to be hard standing as well. So I'm quite happy that we've still got some rubble left for that, and of course we've got that rubble over there where the bank's been blown out, which we'll talk about in a minute. Now I've stopped just here because I want to put a drain in here. We'll talk about that again in a minute as well. But there's basically going to be a drain in this corner here, and then there'll be a drain over behind that tree in the corner over there again, and a pipe connecting between the two. And then from here, turn around back to where the bank's blown out there, there'll be another pipe going across to there to another drain. The reason I'm not taking it direct from that sort of over there and that straight to the corner is because there's going to be a concrete hard stand in here. I'm not sure if I'm going to build a barn or whether I'm going to put shipping containers on there with a roof. I haven't decided yet, but in any case there will be a concrete hard standing, and I want to avoid trying to run pipes underneath that, because obviously if there's a problem then I've got to start taking up concrete and I've got builders in the way. So I'd rather take it to here. It also means that you split the length in two, and if it does get blocked, you've got several points to actually rob back through the pipes and clear them. So this is another job. This is where the bank's blown out. What we're going to have to do here, eventually there'll be a wall retaining all this back, but I'm going to sort of put a drain in sort of up to this rock here, a drain in here and a pipe up to the top, another drain at the top there. Okay, so we're up at the top level. I'll spin you around. There we are near the gateway, and this is where we want to put the tank. I've previously banked this round in an attempt to actually try and get some water laying in it, and you can probably see just here where it's in the shade from the wall a lot of the time, it's still quite damp. Now I don't want anything enormous. At best I think this is going to be 4 by 6 by sort of 3 meters deep and probably a meter above the ground, to try and match it in and look a bit like that wall. The edge of the water tank will look a bit like that wall. Now, normally you dig a sort of a trench full depth along the end and around each sides. In the past, when I've done swimming pools and tanks, you dig the trenches to full depth on those 3 sides so that you have nice straight edges on the tank, and then you just dig out the soil between it. Well, obviously that's not possible here. We've got pillars in the way, we've got walls in the way, so I can't get the arse end of the digger in there. We've got another level up there, so it makes it more difficult to sort of do the edge of that one. So the only way I can really have got a trench is along here, and you can see there's a bloody great rock in the middle there, and this is some of the worst ground on the property. There's a line of limestone. I'll show you with a bit of B-roll. It runs all the way along here, and you can see that digging in here. Once it's exposed to the air a bit and you've undug it, it does actually break up a bit easier, but I haven't tried it yet, but I think that's almost certainly going to be a can-go job. So I think the first thing we're going to do is we'll get the digger and the dump up here. We'll get this bank up out the way, and we'll start digging. We'll see how we get on. Okay, so that's those banks gone. Nearly 5 cubic meters of soil just on that alone. I've started having a sort of a digger out at the bottom here. There's solid rock on the edge there. It's a bit softer there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the dumper alongside there, dig out what we can at the start here, and try and have a look what's what. Hopefully I'm not going to have to spend too much time jumping down this hole with a can-go hammer and breaking rock up, and hopefully I'll get through this layer of rock pretty quick and it will be fairly soft below. But who knows? Okay, so that's it for today. I've gone as far as I dare. I'll just quickly spin you around and show you. So yeah, we've got as far down into the soil as we can, but we're starting to hit rock. It isn't particularly hard. If I kept bashing away with a digger, with a bucket, I probably would get through it. But there's also the risk I could end up having to re-weld all the bucket, which won't be the first time that's happened. So we've bladed out these mounds that we've put in with the dumper, just roughly to eye for now. I'll get it, you know, leveler later on at a later date, but it's good enough to now to give me a mark on the edge of here. Broadened it round on this edge here, and what we'll do then is we shall run it along the edge to sort of that little bit of a bank there near the roadside, and that will sort of give us a rough level for us to then fill in between. Good morning and welcome back. The footage you've just seen was from yesterday. We had one of those days yesterday. We started off the day with problems completely unrelated to this and beyond our control, and things didn't really get any better from there. A certain little somebody, who I won't mention, tried to start the generator then with it not being switched on at the switch, so no spark, and then proceeded to flood the generator. Not going to go on about it because she feels pretty bad about it, but that was the second thing that day. And it was just one of those days where I thought, I'll tell you what, life, I'm just not doing this with you today, you know. So everything got chucked back in the van. We went back home and we basically just tossed around and watched telly for the most part of the rest of the day. There's just some days when, you know, these things happen and your heart's on it, in it. And unlike, you know, a normal 9 to 5, off-gridding isn't about putting multiple hours in, it's about putting quality hours in. And once things start to mess you about some days and your mind's not in the right mindset for it, you may as well just pack up and go home. So the generator that was flooded has now started. We got it out this morning and started it, and it dried out overnight. Like I say, yesterday I could have gone home and, you know, got some tools and dried out the spark plug, but just couldn't be bothered yesterday, just wasn't happening. So that's running and warming up. This generator here is a 2.5 kilowatt. It's just about up to doing the jackhammer down there. We've got a bigger one, but it weighs nearly 100 kilos, so we don't want to bring that down unless we have to. So we're going to have a go at it. We'll have a go at this rock down here. Again, we won't know what we're doing until we get on with it. Normally if a rock's too hard, it just chips it off no matter how good your jackhammer is, sort of that type of rock there. This rock is a bit different, so as long as it's not too soft, because the other way can be hard work as well, because if it's too soft, the point of the kangaroo hammer just blows straight through it, makes a hole but doesn't crack it, and then you end up, you know, almost putting your back out trying to pull the, you know, the point and the spike back out of the rock. So all we can do is have a go and see how it goes. Okay, so we've brought the digger up now. We've kangoed a bit of this soil sort of down in the bottom here and at the lowest point. I've done it along there, and we're going to pull it away with the digger in an attempt to sort of get through the rock and down to the gravel below. The reason for that is if we can undermine sort of where the thicker rock is there, it'll make it a hell of a lot easier to pick. So let's give that a go. Okay, so with a quick dig we've got down again, but unfortunately it was still into rock. We took quite a bit out there. You can see by the edge of that lip there, we've taken it down a good 20 centimetres, 8 inches if you're watching this in America. So we're just going to drill out a bit more, back to the pick, and basically rinse and repeat. Okay, and as you've just seen there, we're through. It's normally about 30 to 40 centimetres to get through the rock on this level, and we seem to be through it now. So I think we'll get the dumper up here, so that we're not making a pole there that we're going to have to shift twice. Get the dumper up here. This stuff, it isn't much use for topsoil, but it can go on the level that I need to build up opposite, you know, and I'll spread it down at a lower level and then put topsoil on top. It's good for drainage. So that's just gone 2 o'clock, so that's our knocking off time for the morning. Let's quickly jump down this hole and have a look what we've done. Okay, so we've got this rock here. This is a limestone rock. This is sort of a shell rock coming down to here. And if you look closely down here, we've now made it back into soil, into sandy coloured soil. So we're home and dry now. Tomorrow what we're going to do is we'll just undermine this bit along the bottom here, further in, and then bash the top of this with a bucket, and it should cave in. There's a few sort of lumps up there you can see. They're ones we've already previously done that. But yeah, not bad for a first day's work. I'm about 1.8 metres, and that's a little bit higher than me, so I'll say we're probably about 2 metres down now, so we've got at least another metre to go. Good morning and welcome back to round 2 of the Battle of the Water Tank. So first up today, I'm afraid, it's down a hole with the jackhammer, picking out underneath that layer of rock you can see down there to undermine it. Hopefully then we can bash it with the top of the bucket, along the top there with the digger, and it'll drop into chunks like these chunks here that I've fished out. And we'll finally be able to make it to the edge there where I want to be, which is going to be about a metre up away from that little wall there, just so we don't undermine that. Okay, so that's us done for today. We've got quite deep. We've quickly nipped home just to get some of this fencing you can see here. There shouldn't be anybody on the property without our permission. And anybody who is definitely up to no good, but it won't stop them from trying to sue us or make a claim against us if they fall down this hole. So yeah, bit of fencing that we've got kicking around just to shield it off, at least from this side. So as you can see, we've got quite deep. We've still got to sort of square this off a little bit with a pick. We're starting to get as deep as we possibly can down the bottom there before we've run out of reach with the actual digger arm. It's quite soft down there, so we're going to try and get deeper. So what we'll have to do then is just step this bit down in a bit to get the digger lower, so then we can get the arm further down and get it as deep as we possibly can, which is what I'll do, because the deeper we get it the better, the more water it'll hold. I think we're going to leave that here for today. That's it. Builders mates had enough. I've had enough. So yeah, we're going to get off and get some dinner. Good morning and welcome back to round 3 of the Battle of the Water Tank. Unfortunately, last night didn't have a great night. Didn't have a great night's sleep at all, and I feel a bit crappy this morning. Anthea's had to go off and do something else somewhere, so I haven't got her help. And I've got something on about 1 o'clock, so thankfully it's going to make it a bit of a short morning. Now, really by rights, I should be actually trimming off and sizing off this hole down here with the jackhammer. Don't feel up to that at all. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with something easy, which I'll take you to look at in a minute. But second job today is going to be shift all these rocks, sort of try and trim down this edge up here at ground level, sort of along here, and then hopefully with that out I can get the digger down onto a slightly lower level there, and then get a bit more depth and a bit better angle there to clear out this soil and everything out of this hole a bit more. So I'm going to quickly take you over to the first job today. So first job today, I've just been bringing the digger up from below, and I was thinking, yeah, let's get this sorted first. Nice easy job for me, just sit on the digger and blade out all these mounds we've made along here. Okay, so that's that done. Digger made light work of that. So let's go get on, move some of these rocks and start this next section of work. Good morning and welcome back to round 4 of the Battle of the Water Tank. I've got my little helper today. So yeah, not on my own. We haven't got the short morning like we did yesterday morning, and I don't feel as rough as a badger's arse like I did yesterday morning as well. So hopefully we should be able to get on and make an even bigger hole in this job, quite literally. So yeah, yesterday didn't do bad despite it all. We've managed to chip that away. It doesn't look a lot, but it's quite hard, that rock. So first off, we're going to continue to try and chop that off, the rest of that off in a straight line. Take that level here down to sort of the level just there, step down so we can get the digger a little bit leveler, a little bit lower down, and then we'll get a deeper reach with the arm into the hole to get a bit deeper there. That's the plan. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so that's done for today. I haven't done an outro for a few days because it gets a bit repetitive. I'll just spin you around, quickly show you what we've done, because we've made some progress. We've done 4 hours on the pick today, which is more than enough. We probably only took about 4 to 5 tons out of here, of crap out of here, you know, rubble and that. But yeah, we've cut down pretty well. It looks pretty straight down there. We've cut through the rock. We're just about below it on this level. We've got that a step lower here, so now we can get a bit deeper down with the main hole. Quickly just put a little bit of a platform there to stand on, so I can sort of just finish picking that edge a bit. A little bit there as well. Now we're going to try to do it as square as we can, but we only do it square to eye. We're not messing about, you know, get lasers out and things like that. If the tank can be square, it will be, but I certainly won't be squaring it off for losing a couple of 1,000 litres of water, you know, capacity to it. So if it's slightly out of square, I'm not that bothered. It's going to be under the ground, and maximum capacity of water is the most important thing. Not getting, you know, buildings square or tanks square that are under the ground that are never going to be seen. So anyway, I think we'll wrap that up for today, and I'll bring you back in tomorrow. Good morning and welcome back. We're back down the farm and continuing the battle of the water tank. We actually moved down here to the farm yesterday in the motorhome. You can probably see over there. Yeah, it certainly cut down our morning commute. I didn't have to drive far this morning in Anthea, even walk to work. So yeah, not bad at all. We just roll straight out the motorhome and get on with the work. Now the reason we come down with the motorhome is the weather's turned quite a bit colder. Not probably what you'd call cold back in Northern Europe, but we're down to about sort of 9-10 degrees. We've got, you know, a cold icy wind coming off the snow-capped mountain, so it is quite chilly, and it's certainly, whilst it's good for working in, it's not that nice as sitting around in, and our sort of Spanish farmhouse isn't that warm in the winter. So yeah, the motorhome is really easy to keep warm, really cosy, so hence the decision to move down here. Okay then, so we're going to get the Kango out, the generator out, get everything all warmed up, and then we'll start work. So we've got quite deep into there. I don't think we're going to go much deeper than that. That's all over there, couldn't quite reach, but I should be able to get it sort of from this side here when I've moved this. So I've carved the line along there from the edge, and that's what's going to be the edge of the tank that way, and across that way. So hopefully now you can more or less see what it's going to be. Good morning and welcome back. The battle of the water tank continues. I've got builder's mate here on dumper, helping me move this soil. Weather's a bit warmer today, wind's dropped, sun's out, so yeah, it's going to be a nice day for it. And to make things even better, we're not starting the day with the jackhammer. We actually get to have a nice easy plod of moving this soil here into the dumper and lowering this level down to the level of the trench, which should bring us out the same level of this bit over there. And then the next job is going to be take that next level down a level as well. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so we've got that all cleared out. We've got down to that level, so we're on the same level all the way around there on the sort of 3/4 of it. But now we've got this problem that we knew we had anyway, and that's this bloody great boulder here stuck on the edge. We've undermined it as much as we can. We might be able to undermine it a bit more. We're going to try and dig around it a bit more and see if we can actually lift it out.
I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so.
Okay, so as you saw, that's not happening at all. So plan B, I think what we're going to do is try and sort of chip out, because this sort of big boulder's all attached to sort of a whole plateau of rock around here. So I think what we're going to do is probably just try and chip out around here, around the edges, separate it from the sort of plateau of rock, round, all the way around here, and then see if we can lift it out. So unfortunately the loadings were short-lived, and we're back to jackhammering again.
Can you not move backwards? No. Right. Keep doing what you're doing then. That's it. Hey!
Okay, so that was easy. Not. I think we're going to finish on that note today. That was a bit like an iceberg, you know, like two-thirds more under the surface and actually on top. Yeah, that's a huge bloody boulder, and I'm not really sure how I'm going to move it yet, or where I'm going to put it. But anyway, let's not worry about that for now. At least we've got it out the hole there, and now we can carry and get on to the next stage, and hopefully we haven't got any more of those down there.